What's up, everyone? Today I stayed home from work because we are in the process of moving, and I want to take a vacation day to get some more done. And I had the opportunity to go with and drop Harmony off at school, which is really cool because she goes to the same grade school that I went to. And as we're dropping her off, I can't help but you know feel like a little kid again seeing that school. And on a side note, if you have any chance to go back into your old grade school for like a concert or anything, just do it. It's pretty wild going back in there. Everything, it feels like a fun house to me, and you really think it can't be the same building, but. So anyway, so we're dropping her off, and I noticed the playground, and I've went over there before with her to play and stuff, but got me thinking about how like all the playground equipment is gone now, except for I think the old small set of monkey bars and the balance beam is still there. Other than that, I think it's all gone. I think everything else has been taken down. It looks like a bunch of newer stuff. So seeing that inspired me to do one of these today, because I thought of what stuff from my childhood is gone now, like different businesses or even just certain things, or stuff that's like rare nowadays to find. So this is kind of not scripted, but I did make a list of stuff I want to talk about. There's no rhyme or reason to my list, but I'll just go over some of these. It took like 2 sides of a paper. I just kept thinking of these different things. It was kind of like, doing like a virtual walk of, where we used to go when I was a kid. The first one I wrote down was Powerhouse. And Powerhouse was a small video game rental store in Kenosha. I love that place so much. It had like a dragon on the logo. We used to rent games there all the time. My mom worked just down the street. She's a florist, so we'd call up and have games get reserved, and then I call her and tell her to pick them up. And that place, oh my god, that place was amazing as a kid. Like, I mean, we had like, I don't know if Blockbuster was around when Powerhouse was around, but I mean that was like the place to go to rent video games. You can rent systems and everything. And I wrote down also Dan's Deals on Wheels. Now this one's kind of like a odd one. This one was in Paddock Lake next to Subway. I don't know if Subway was there at the time, but it was a bike shop, and it rented video games and movies, which, see, a lot of people my age will remember this. Like, you could rent video games and movies at like weird places. Like we had a place called Benson's that rented out. There was a back section of the store where you can rent movies, like rent movies from a gas station. Like, nowadays it doesn't even exist. That would just be so odd to go into a gas station and rent movies while pumping gas. Along the same lines, I wrote down Blockbuster. I don't know if they're all completely closed. I know everything around here is gone. When Netflix and that came out, just destroyed Blockbuster. Yeah, Friday nights we used to go to Blockbuster a lot. I remember going in there on Tuesdays and stuff, trying to get new releases, and they'd always have like that new release wall, and you would just pray that there'd be like one, because they had all the displays, and you pray there'd be like one VHS tape or DVD behind that display box. And yeah, that was a great place. Weirdly enough, I still have my Blockbuster card. Pizza Hut. Now, I wrote down Pizza Hut. There's still Pizza Huts, but the Pizza Hut we used to go to all the time, that's in Kenosha, is no longer there. I don't know what's there. I think it's like a car place or insurance place. I don't know what it is. But Pizza Hut back in the day was awesome. Now I think you just order pizza and you can sit down. Back then they had, I don't know if you remember tabletop games. They were like little arcade games, but not like high quality arcade games. They'd have like Joust and Defender and like I remember Goonies and like Dig Dug and stuff on there, and it was like you play. They called tabletops because like the screen was like where the table is, so it's like you're looking down at this screen, and those were just awesome. So I had to put that in there, because Pizza Hut back then with games and stuff inside was just so cool. Let's see, what else did I write? Oh, there was a Burger King in Kenosha. It's still there. It's over by the library and Snap-on. And it used to have a train car sitting outside. I don't know if it still has the train car. That might be gone. But inside, they had this huge, now I'm sure it was small because I was a kid, but to me it was huge. It was a huge like train set with like a model and had like mountains and tunnels and stuff, and they had like stools all around it. So you could sit there and watch this as you eat. I remember eating like a Thundercats Happy Meal or kids meal, watching this huge train set, and that was so cool to me. I didn't care for McDonald's. I mean, I like their food, but their playground, it was like all metal and stuff. I just felt like I was gonna get hurt on it. And they had this. I remember in the center they had this hamburger that you could climb up into. I don't know if he was a cop. I remember he had like a blue hat on the top. But you would climb in there, and he had like bars for like on his mouth or something. And I remember going up there one time, and you would go up, and you could crawl around like, I guess his bun or whatever you call it. And I just remember being so claustrophobic in there because all these other kids would climb up, and you couldn't get back down unless all the other kids went around and started going down. I remember just being stuck in there, and I hated that thing so much. Kmart, which somehow Kmarts are still around, even though like there's no one ever in there. They had this awesome, I want to say it was like a snack bar or something in the front. We used to get ices there all the time, and that was awesome. I loved their ices. They had like a little polar bear on it. I don't know if they still make ices. It's kind of like a slushy, but they're more like a foam. As far as Kmart and stuff goes, arcade games in stores. Like we go to Shopko, and up by the checkout they would have arcade games, and we would play those while my mom was waiting in line to check out. I remember playing like Terminator with like the guns and stuff, or walking into Walmart and they had like NBA Jam, and you hear like boom shakalaka as you're walking into a Walmart, which is so cool to even think about. They don't do those anymore. You don't see arcade games in stores anymore. Which brings me to my next one, Aladdin's Castle in Regency Mall. That place, I don't know if that's still there. No one goes to Regency Mall anymore. That place just needs a chalk outline around it. It's so dead in there. I mean, a lot of the stores are gone. I hear someone bought it and they're gonna try to fix it or whatever. But that store and that mall used to be just awesome. Like I remember these sculptures in there. They had like, I don't know if they had like a waterfall. I remember a lot of water in there. Like they had sculptures with water around it, maybe. I don't know. And they had like skylights, and it was amazing. But yeah, they had Aladdin's Castle in there, and it was a big arcade. And my brother and I would always have birthday parties there, and we'd have it after hours, and we'd have the whole arcade to ourselves with our friends and stuff, and they had pizza, and that place was amazing. And that's another thing. Arcades used to be so huge. I mean, that was like, those games had like the best graphics. Like we didn't have that on home consoles. I mean, like a new Mortal Kombat or a new Street Fighter come out, and there was literally lines at these arcade machines to play these games. Speaking of malls, the factory outlet mall, or as a lot of people call it, the dirt mall, because it was just, I mean, it was nice at one time. Like Regency Mall, factory outlet mall is gone. It got torn down. I don't really know what's there. I forget. I think one side is just nothing. The other side might be a store, like Ashley Furniture, maybe. I don't know. But that factory outlet mall, that was nice at one point. We used to go in there a lot, and then slowly over the years, it just went down. Brass Ball. That was a restaurant in Paddock Lake on a corner. And I remember there was somebody playing a piano in there. I don't remember when that was taken down. It might have been in high school. That sounds about right. There's a Walgreens there now. But yeah, that was a nice restaurant. I liked it. They still have like a brass ball or whatever you want to say hanging by some wires by the streetlights, which is cool. Video 50, I think that was called, in Paddock Lake. It was by the double lanes. It was a small video store. It was nice though. It was like I don't know if you want to call that a mom and pop type place, but it was a nice video store, and you can rent games in there. Our Dogs, which was in Paddock Lake, that was up on kind of a hill. I think it's by the laundromat. It went from Our Dogs, and then it changed to JJ's Doghouse or something. I don't know if anything's there now, but Our Dogs was so good. I remember going. My dad would take us there, or he'd take us to Dan's Deals on Wheels, and we would rent some games and movies and stuff. And then he would take us to Our Dogs to get carry out. So we'd go home like on a Friday night with, movies and games and food. It's kind of like I guess it's kind of like a Mr. G's that they have in Antioch. I mean, Mr. G's is amazing. There's no comparison, but it was kind of like that same food, like burgers, hot dogs, and gyros and stuff like that. I wrote down on here ball pits, which, you go into like McDonald's and stuff, and they used to have, and other places would have ball pits. Like you could just go in these ball pits, and the rumor has it, I don't know if it's true, whatever, that people were throwing used needles in them or other drug paraphernalia, and that's why they took them out. But I love those. Those were so cool. I can still remember how it smelled, like the plastic, Big Boy. We had a Big Boy, I think it was by I-94. That got taken down when I was pretty young. It was like a guy in white and red overalls, and he's like holding up I don't know if he's holding up a burger or like a platter or something on the sign. It was like a big statue type thing. I remember going there. I was pretty young though. Ponderosa, they still have them. Ours got taken down. I think there's a Chinese food place there now. I loved Ponderosa. They had like chicken on the buffet that was amazing. That was my favorite there. Their little Sunday thing. My brother and I used to take the cherry tomatoes from the buffet. We put a bunch in our pockets, and then when we'd leave, we'd actually put them underneath other cars' tires, so when they would back out, when they would go home, they would run over these tomatoes. We thought that was like so cool to do. I don't know. It was like it was weird. Leaps and Bounds and Discovery Zone, or DZ. I never went to Discovery Zone, but I did go to Leaps and Bounds. I remember putting on, I don't know if we had elbow pads. I know we had knee pads, and the place was just all these tubes. It was a birthday party. And I remember just crawling around, and it was like a whole building with this like huge circuit or whatever of tubes. And it was just huge. I loved that place. Somebody brought this one up. A friend of mine brought this one up on Facebook the other day. I completely forgot about this place. But it was over by Kmart in Kenosha. I think Taco Bell's there now. And it was called something like Showbiz Pizza. It was like a I don't know what you call it, like a lesser Chuck E. Cheese, and they had these animatronic robots in there that were just so creepy. Google it or something, try to find that. I vaguely remember it, but I just remember it was really, really weird in there. Like, it was just a small place with these weird talking bears and stuff. Hardee's was huge back in the day. I loved Hardee's. They had awesome toys. California raisins, I loved those when I was growing up. It was also the quote-unquote headquarters for Ghostbusters 2 when Ghostbusters 2 was coming out. I think there's a Hardee's in Racine. I don't know if it's a Carl's Jr. Is that the same place? I don't know if the same company or whatever. But yeah, and Hardee's had the twist cone with the vanilla and chocolate on it. Shirl's in Kenosha does it, that I know of still. But Hardee's, oh my God, Hardee's was awesome. I haven't eaten there in forever. I don't know if they're still around. I would like to try their food again. Long John Silver's used to be very popular. I think they're still around. I think they do like a. I've heard they join up with like a KFC in one building. It's kind of like a weird combination. Congo River. Oh my God, Congo River. That place was amazing. I loved Congo River so much. My grandma used to take us there. My brother and my cousin David and our cousin Katie. Oh my gosh, she used to take us there all the time. It was a miniature golf place, if you don't know, or putt-putt. Miniature golf. It's not putt-putt. Anyway, Congo River. Yeah, and they'd give you like a scorecard. It was like a safari theme. And they'd give you like a scorecard, and on the bottom of the scorecard, they'd have like these different things they want you to find as you go around, and like there was a guy in quicksand. There was a canoe he had to mark off. Like a tiki mask, like a tiki drum. I'm trying to think of the different ones. But anyway, you would mark these off. You would write down what hole they're on, and then when you're done, you would turn them in, and you get a scratch off. And every scratch off had like a prize on it. It was either like a free game of golf. Sometimes you get like a shirt. They had like, I think Hardee's was tied in with them. You get something from them or another fast food place. They also had a small arcade at Congo River, and that was the first place that I played the Simpsons arcade game. Oh, that arcade game, I would love to own one. If you've played the Simpsons arcade game, I really don't need to get into like why that game is so awesome. But a little bit before Congo River, was on its way out, I stopped in there. And the guy said he would sell me that Simpson arcade machine. And we made a deal about how much, whatever. And he said he would get back to me. He never did. And that would have been like a holy grail item for me. I mean, you can still buy them. But for me personally, to have that machine, like that was like a huge part of my childhood, playing on that machine at Congo River. I was so devastated when they took down Congo River. There's like a car dealership there now. So stupid. So stupid. What a waste. I mean, Action Territory's nice. I was excited when a kid when that went up. But Congo River, I mean, yeah, it's just miniature golfing and they had a little arcade. But that, by far, to me, blows Action Territory out of the water. It was so cool. Like, they had waterfalls and, oh my God, it was just so cool. Great Skate in Kenosha. We used to go there for school. I want to say it was a Thursday night. Yeah, definitely Thursday, because Simpsons used to come on once a week on Thursdays. And I remember missing out on a new episode to go to this Great Skate thing for school. And it was a great place. I loved Great Skate, They had like a snack bar, and they had air hockey tables, and they had like the machines with like the chickens that you put quarters in. The chicken would go around and drop an egg out. And like the love tester machine, everyone always did that love tester machine. And you know what? I think I went out in the middle like twice on the actual rink. I would just hang around the arcade area, which is so stupid and such a waste of time. I was such a big chicken to go out there. I remember just sitting there watching all my friends from over the ledge or whatever, and they do the thing where they have like the big dice and they throw the dice out, and if it landed on your number, so all the kids had to line up on the walls with the different numbers, and if it landed on your number, they had to get off. I think that's how it went. And then whatever number was last, they got to have like one last skate before it, before the night was over. And that place got taken down, sadly. My good friend Edna worked there for years. It was, I think they have a like a assisted living or a retirement home there now, which is fine. It's better than a stupid ass car dealership. But yeah, that place was amazing. Toy Works and KB Toys. Toy Works was on the mall strip by Kohl's in Kenosha. Toy Works was awesome. I think they were in, I think Toy Works and KB were like the same place. just different names. KB Toys was in, I remember them from Regency Mall, back when Regency Mall was actually nice. And that store was awesome to go in. I always remember they had like a table outside with like the little barking dogs that would like flip and stuff when you'd walk by. Yeah, KB Toys was amazing. We get those like punch balloons where you'd inflate them, and they had like a string you put on in your hand. You could punch them and stuff. And we bought so many action figures from KB Toys. That was amazing. Dairy Queens are still around, but you don't see much of them anymore. There's different places like Cold Stone now, and these other places that have like kind of pushed them out. But Dairy Queen, we used to go there. We played t-ball. Once a week or so behind Salem Grade School, and my parents would take us to Dairy Queen afterwards. And I used to get a Mr. Misty. It was like a slushy type thing, and those were so good. They'd have the Dennis the Menace characters on the cups. So yeah, that was a great place. Cinema 5 was a movie place in Kenosha. I think what's there now? Pick and Save? Or Hobby Lobby? No, Hobby Lobby moved. But Cinema 5 was a great theater. It wasn't anything special. It was kind of like our theater before we had Tinseltown. It wasn't, anything major. I remember seeing Home Alone there, and we wanted to go see this movie, and we went up, and the line was just down the sidewalk. We never got in. We had to go back like later that night, and it was still sold out again, but we had to sit in the front row, and that was a great theater. Next to it, I think they had a small arcade in a different building. Speaking of that, Market Square, which is down there on Sheridan, I think Sheridan, there was another movie theater, and they had an awesome arcade in there. They had a huge arcade, and it was like a little step up from Cinema 5, but I love both of them. We went to both a lot. I remember we didn't have the internet, obviously, back then, so my parents would have me call up, and if we didn't have a newspaper at the time for showtimes, I'd have to call up and write down every single movie and every single showtime, and I'd have to call back a couple times because the little voice recording would talk so fast. And the last thing on my list, which kind of ties into the other two, is the Kenosha Drive-In, which is, I don't know if the screen is still up. They take the screen down, but I know it's closed. That place was great. It was just a simple outdoor drive-in theater. The first movie I remember seeing there was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That was a great movie. And sadly, that place is gone now, and kids will never know how great it was to go to the drive-in. I remember laying in the back of the car, or in a bed of a truck, and getting covered with a blanket so we could get in for free. Yeah, so that's my list. I'm sure there's a lot I've missed, but these are the ones that just popped in my head today. So if you have anything I might have missed, just let me know, or throw it in the comments, or tell me on Facebook. So alrighty, that is it for now. I will talk to everyone later. Have a great day.